What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and we are starting to learn just a tad bit more about some of the people who are supposedly on board this missing submarine that was on a mission to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. It is believed that Stockton Rush, the CEO of the company which provided the submarine, is one of the 5 passengers missing. Rush is the chief executive officer and founder of Ocean Gate Inc., the company carrying out the expedition. It is also believed that Paul Henry Nargelet, age 73, is also on board, along with British billionaire Hamish Harding. Mr. Nargelet is the director of Underwater Research Program at Premier Exhibitions RMS Titanic Inc. He previously spoke frankly about the extreme dangers of deep-sea exploration in a recent interview. He said, "If you are 11 meters or 11 kilometers down, if something bad happens, the result is the same. When you're in very deep water, you're dead before you realize that something is happening. So it's just not a problem." Now, those are some really bone-chilling words, especially when you consider the fact that he is now on a missing submarine in the middle of the ocean. Now, did they lose pressure? Did this submarine combust? Did they already die a quick death? I'm sorry to put it that way, but that's what we're looking at here. I'm not so sure what they're dealing with. I would think that that may be even better than panicking at the bottom of the ocean, stuck inside of a submarine that is no longer working, without really any hope of being found anytime soon. The more and more updates I get on this story, the more and more it looks like this is not really a search and rescue effort. It's starting to look just more like a search effort. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still hoping for the best. I think it's best that everyone remains positive. Send the positive vibes out into the universe for everyone involved in this situation. But at the end of the day, I mean, we have to understand the seriousness of what we're dealing with here. And I think that everyone should just be ready for whatever outcome there may be. Now, I want to go ahead and roll a clip from the news that revealed a little more information about what's going on here. And then I will be right back with more. But before I roll this clip, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let's watch this little clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Breaking news in the desperate search for a small submersible that disappeared while taking a crew of 5 people to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean to view the Titanic shipwreck. The search area is located about 720 miles from Halifax, Nova Scotia, where the wreckage sits about 13,000 feet below the surface. Coast Guard officials say the 22-foot submersible carries enough oxygen for about 4 days. Now, among the 5 people on board, according to family members, is explorer and British billionaire Hamish Harding. The last communication from the vessel was Sunday morning. CBS's MTS tie-up leads us off tonight with the late-breaking developments.
It's a race against time to find the submersible and those on board after it lost communication an hour and 45 minutes into its 2.5-mile deep dive into the North Atlantic to see the haunting wreckage of the Titanic. The sub only carries around 96 hours worth of oxygen, and its crew, which is understood to include British billionaire Hamish Harding, hasn't been heard from in over a day now. The U.S. Coast Guard is leading the multinational search.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a remote area, and it is a challenge to conduct a search in that remote area, but we are deploying all available assets.
Ocean Gate only started making deep-sea expeditions with tourists in 2021. A CBS Sunday Morning team also made the journey to the ocean floor, which costs adventure tourists $250,000. At one point, the crew realized something was wrong.
Do you know where we are? 100 meters to the bow, then 470 to the bow. If you are lost, so are we.
One of the passengers put it this way.
We were lost. We were lost for 2.5 hours.
The submersible is the first of its kind. CEO Stockton Rush told CBS Sunday Morning safety was a priority.
Everything else can fail. Your thrusters can go, your lights can go, you're still going to be safe.
The RMS Titanic began its maiden and final voyage from Britain to New York in 1912. It was the largest passenger ship on Earth at the time. After it struck an iceberg and sank, more than 1,500 people on board were killed. Maritime experts are already warning conditions deep in the Atlantic are hard to predict, and any attempt at a rescue for those trapped will be extremely difficult.
Now, there are several possible theories as to what could have happened, ranging from the sub lost comms and has already floated to the surface waiting to be discovered, to something more serious may have happened and that it sunk to the bottom of the ocean floor, with rescuers warning that they don't have the kind of specialized equipment needed to reach those depths. Jarika.
Very scary stuff. Thank you, NTS Ty.
Okay, so what it sounds like to me, and you let me know if it sounds like this to you as well. It basically sounds like even if they were to locate this submarine, there's a huge possibility that they're not going to be able to do anything to rescue them. And that makes this whole story and this whole situation even more tragic, if you ask me. Like, what if they locate the submarine, it's at the bottom of the ocean floor, they're able to tell that the crew is still alive, but they know that there's no equipment within the area that could retrieve this submarine. That makes the story even more tragic, knowing that, yeah, sure, you could locate them in time to save them, but you don't have the proper equipment to save them. And that's the point that I made in the first video that I made on this topic. I was wondering, well, do they even have the proper equipment to get this submarine from the bottom of the ocean floor? And I imagine even trying to do that, you're putting other lives at risk. So it's an all-around bad situation. We basically have to hope for, we got to hope that this submarine was somehow able to make it to the surface, because if not, from the way it sounds, and this is not me being negative, I'm trying to stay as positive as possible while covering this story, but everything I'm hearing, it sounds like to me that y'all aren't going to be able to do anything. And if that's the case, I think that y'all need to be more open about that, because it's kind of like you're saying it without directly saying it. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with right now, folks. Huge possibility that even if they find this ship, they find this submarine, it's more likely than not that they would not be able to even rescue them. So this is not looking like a search and rescue. It's looking like a search mission. And you know how long it took for them to find the wreckage of the Titanic? There's a possibility that they could be looking for this sunken craft for years. There's a possibility that they never find it. The ocean is vast. And it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of effort. And from what we're seeing today, you risk your life every time you go down in those waters. So hopefully this mystery is solved. Hopefully they're found safely. But go ahead and brace yourself for the worst possible outcome, because I'm not hearing anything here that makes me feel better about this situation. In fact, everything sounds really dire right now. Let me know your thoughts, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I will talk to you all in the next video.